Hi everyone, in this video we are diving deep into a clever data exfiltration and delivery technique. We will be utilizing the Brave browser's sync chain feature to silently transfer data from a victim's machine. The core idea: to use completely authentic legitimate software for its daily data movement. Please note this content is strictly for educational and research purposes only. So, why did I choose the Brave browser for this? The key is its unique sync chain feature. Unlike most services, it doesn't require an account to sync. You simply create a sync chain on one machine, get a sync code, and join another machine to that chain. This makes it incredibly easy to establish a data link without leaving a typical account based forensics artifacts. Now, let's get into the exfiltration technique itself. How do we smuggle data using the browser syncing option? We could try adding a payload to browser extensions, but that often triggers security radars. Bookmarks are another option, but custom data tends to stand out easily there. The sweet spot is browser history. It's massive, constantly changing, and generally daunting to look at, making a few extra URLs extremely hard to spot. For instance, to transfer a single line of text, I can simply add it as a query parameter to an otherwise authentic URL. That URL gets recorded in the victim's history, and once the sync chain updates, I can retrieve the URL and its query parameter data on my machine. But what about larger files or binary data? We can't just add a raw data into a URL. We need to convert it into a URL friendly format. That's where base64 encoding comes in. Base64 converts any data into a string of supported characters, handling things like new line characters that URLs can't process directly. Even the equal sign, often found at the end of a base64 string, must be URL encoded to percentage %3d to ensure safe transmission. After base64 encoding, the data is chunked. Every browser URL address has a maximum length limit. Some support 2000 characters, other 20,000. I haven't pinpointed Brave's absolute maximum, but for my testing, I restricted my payload to a maximum of 150 characters per URL chunk. For easy decoding and reassembly, I added crucial metadata to the query parameters: a chunk numbering parameter to track the order and reconstruct the full base64 string correctly. Second, the original file name parameter so the recovered data can be saved within the right name. Thinking about data processing and the entire exfiltration flow, I developed a custom tool written in Golang. This allows me to create a standalone executable binary or an ELF binary that can be used on the target machine without needing to install any dependencies. There are a couple of ways to get those URLs into the history. The tool currently manually interacts with the Brave browser service and opens the constructed URLs. While effective, executing browser this way could potentially come into detection. A stealthier approach might be directly interacting with the Brave browser's local history database. However, for the decoding process, the tool does interact directly with the Brave history database. It fetches the sync history based on a specific pattern within the URL. This ensures it only starts decoding data from the legitimate exfiltration URLs, reconstructing the base64 chunks using the chunk numbering, and finally recovering the original file. Now, let's move to the demonstration. First, we need to set up the Brave sync chain between our two browsers. These machines don't need to be on the same local network, they just need access to the internet. On our attacking machine, my Kali Linux box, I'll start the sync chain and copy the sync code. Then, on the supposed victim machine Windows client, I'll paste the code and join the chain. You should now see both devices listed in your sync chain menu. Crucially, make sure the history option is enabled for syncing on both browsers. Okay, the stage is set. I am going to exfiltrate these two sample files. Let me quickly show you their contents first. Running my custom Golang tool without any argument shows us the usage instructions. For exfiltration, we will use the encode argument, specify the file name we want to transfer, and the path to the browser executable. On Windows, you don't need to specify the path for Brave as a tool will look for it by default. Now, I will quickly encode both files. Watch what happens. The tool automatically starts opening a series of URLs in the Brave browser. These URLs contain our chunked base64 payloads, which is then saved into the browser's history. The data is now encoded and logged in the Windows browser history. Now, we jump back to our Kali Linux machine. We need to wait a few moments for the history to sync across the chain. Once synced, we will run the tool to decode those URLs and retrieve the files. Keep this thing in your mind. The browser's history database file is typically locked while Brave is open. So make sure you close the Brave browser first before running the decoding process. We will give the tool the output directory path and the path to the Brave browser's history file. And there it is. You can see the tool successfully extracted both files and dumped them into the output folder. Let's confirm the content. It perfectly matches the original files from the victim machine. That's the exfiltration complete. Now, let's reverse the flow and use this technique for data delivery, sending a file from our Kali machine to the victim machine. I'll encode a larger file this time. Notice how the tool generates many more URLs due to the larger size. We could reduce this number by simply increasing the chunk size from 150 characters to thousands in the code. Finally, we run the tool on the victim machine to decode the data. Here we don't need to specify the Brave history file. Finally, we run the tool on the victim machine to decode the data. Here we don't need to specify the Brave history file path because the tool is configured to automatically find the current user's default history file. Cool. The data is extracted on the victim side. That concludes our deep dive into using the Brave sync chain for covert data exfiltration and delivery. It's a prime example of abusing legitimate functionality for stealth. If you found this video insightful, please like it and subscribe for more cybersecurity research and ideas. Drop a comment below with any thoughts or suggestions for future topics. See you next time. Bye.